addiction, put together with a minimal friction.
In 1992, Master and Dude toured Australia.
Now, 14 years later, we're bigger and better than ever.
You know it's true and that it ain't no fiction. Good love is like a soul addiction.
Rhythm of the sea, our love flows free. Baby, it's sticky and soldier over me.
I'm not a violent man. I don't like violence. Violence makes me sick.
Don't touch me, Grandad! Oh!
But it was just kind of, it was a tipping a hat to a lot of things. People say spinal taps occasionally. Yes, I hear the things. It wasn't meant to be a spinal tap, but it was just about music and about sort of the really ridiculous things in the music industry and how ridiculous it all is.
Look, Sherrill, we're just giving the fans what they want. There's our avant-garde ambient sound collages.
What was the Canberra filmmaking industry scene in the 90s?
Yeah, and I think it was very different to what it is now. I mean, now you get your DSLR and you have Final Cut Pro and off you go. It was very expensive to make things back then. Yeah. And it was also the sort of cusp of film. We were going to move from film into tape.
What was your favourite part of the film?
I think just the whole adventure, I think, really, honestly, and working with everybody. We had no money, we had, everyone mucked in. It's the independent filmmaking story. A lot of people put a lot of time into it, and I think that was sort of the most rewarding part. I think sort of working with a lot of people who, really stuck with it. One of the great things that came out of it was that it was sold to Aruba, a country in the Caribbean. Worst thing, I think we learnt the lesson that all filmmakers should learn: don't use your own money.
Right, okay. The sale to Aruba didn't cover the cost?
I don't think so.
Life on the road. Everybody thinks it's, like the cliche goes, like sex, drugs and rock and roll. Well, not with these boys, let me tell you. Master was always making these bloody models. I quit because of that. I quit after we had this gig. We postponed this gig in Toronto because he'd superglued a Harrier jump jet to his leg.
I basically stood next to the cameraman for the year that we shot. Sometimes holding the sound poles, sometimes holding his cables, sometimes stopping him from running into people. It was all off the shoulders. There was lots and lots of running around. As a kid, as I was, it was absolutely fantastic. It felt like we were in Hollywood. We were making real movies. We had a crowd of 20 people crowd around a car, and we thought we were doing the biggest and the best things that had been done. And certainly in Canberra, it pretty much had been.
I, at that time, owned what was called a location unit. I owned a broadcast television camera, 3 lights, and I'd been a cameraman. The creative side of it was perhaps just making it happen. Everybody played different roles, no role any more important than another. Serge in the Q&A said he hated it, and typical of us, I loved it. It was fantastic, and I think it's a fine line between love and hate.
Everything says you know, sooner or later.